What's up everybody, my name's Tanner, I'm a graphic designer, and today I'm going to show you how you can take a regular looking photo, add in some basic design, and make it into a web image that you can share on your social media. Let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so here is the raw photo. This is a friend of mine named Keith. He goes to my gym. This shot is of him getting ready to do another set of hammer curls, and I thought it just looked really good. It had the potential to look pretty dramatic. If you would like to see me do a full edit of this photo, just let me know in the comments below, and I'll be happy to record that and show you all how I edited this photo to make it look like this. Alright, so what I did here, I went ahead and opened this photo in Photoshop because I knew I was going to be doing some Photoshop work with it. Then I opened up Adobe Illustrator. For those of you who don't know, Adobe Illustrator is a vector graphics software. It's a product from Adobe. I use it for a lot of 2D work, or if I'm making a logo, or if I'm just getting some like typography. Sometimes I can't do everything that I want to do in Photoshop. Adobe Illustrator is a more powerful tool for that. If you're curious, you can just type in what is Adobe Illustrator on Google, and Google will actually give you a better description than I did. I just gave you like really quick, not the purpose of this video, definition. Open up Adobe Illustrator, opened up a very basic document. I went to Google and I thought, well, what's a popular supplement company right now? One of the names that came up to mind was Raw Nutrition, especially since their most popular athlete, arguably their most popular athlete right now is Chris Bumstead. Googled the Raw Nutrition logo and found a PNG of it. Once it was copied and pasted into Illustrator, I basically just grabbed the pen tool, traced the Raw logo itself, and just made like a quick version. It's nothing perfect. There were some like differences on mine compared to theirs. I'm not hired or sponsored by them in any way, shape, or form. I just wanted to quickly just draw their logo. Once I completed my traced version of the raw logo, try to say that 5 times fast. Opened it into Photoshop, lowered the opacity. What I was going to do here, I was going to mask it. So masking is a technique in Photoshop where you just create a layer mask, and instead of erasing an element or a part of a layer on your Photoshop document, you can just mask it out so it's still there. All you gotta do is select your paintbrush tool. You can hit B and it'll automatically select the brush tool. Hit X to swap between black and white. So with your paintbrush tool, if you have black selected as the color, it's basically gonna look like it's erasing that part of the layer. And if you switch to white, it's gonna bring that back in. You can literally paint it back in. I've done it with a lot of projects in the past, and masking is such a powerful technique. It's way better than erasing a lot of stuff. Not to say that erasing is bad. I use the eraser tool often in my work. Sometimes you just gotta get rid of crap that you just don't want. Once I got done masking it around Keith's headphones, tried making it look like the raw logo that's kind of just like the R, and it looks kind of rough. But I just wasn't getting the look that I wanted, so I decided to move on and take it away from there. I actually started to get full designer on this. Got the paint bucket, and I selected white, and I filled the raw logo with white instead of just black. That way it was easier to read. Tilted it straight up vertically, like a magazine cover or anything like that, or honestly just like even an Instagram post. Sometimes you'll see text actually just tilted up 90 degrees, and it's just a way to position the text there without taking away from the actual subject. A little bump on my W. Gotta get rid of that. And honestly with this, white really wasn't that much easier to read compared to black, just because like these lights that were on the ceiling, it's just kind of crossing paths with the actual white lettering. Technique that you can do with that is like lower your opacity. That way you can kind of see through the text itself, but you can still read the text. And that was kind of cool, but I wanted to see if I could do something better. I just didn't want to be done with that and just call it there, because I know I can do better than that. So I thought, well, let's go ahead and make this look like an actual mock-up poster or an actual social media post for the Raw Nutrition brand. Let's just get like an actual flavor of like one of their pre-workouts, see if we can just create like a theme, like if it's like some kind of ad or something. So I chose a flavor of the Thavage pre-workout. I love that name, Thavage. It's got like a lavender color on the label, so I chose that. Got my eyedropper tool, selected that color. For those of you who don't know, the eyedropper tool is a very powerful tool, and a lot of Adobe products and some free software too have their own version. You can grab the exact color of that single pixel that you want, and it'll tell you that hex code, which is the color code. It tells you, it's basically like the code to produce that color. It'll give you that color, and you can use it wherever you want to. Grab the color. Is a very light purple, made raw that color. And then from there I was messing with the positioning, but then I realized I can make this look like it's on the shirt, and a simple way to do that for anything is to just grab the image that you're wanting to make it look like it's on a shirt, position it how you want to, go to your blending options, and select overlay. Overlay is pretty much like, in my experience, it's going to be 99% the thing that you choose if you want something to look like it's actually printed on a shirt. Because you can see here, just after selecting overlay, the shadows coming from his face and the light is actually covering part of the raw. And like the shadows from like where his chest is and where it's going back in, where the shadows would actually be if this was actually on a shirt, you can see how powerful this tool is. It looks like it's actually printed on his undershirt or his tank top. Do people still call these undershirts? Sometimes I hear them called tank tops, but to me, they're just undershirts. I thought, well, let's try to make it brighter. Started messing with some of these other effects that you can do, upping its brightness, its vibrance. The differences were negligible, so I moved on from that. When the differences are negligible like that and you notice them as like the creator or the designer, you gotta ask yourself, is somebody gonna really notice this difference? Is this really gonna enhance the whole point of this project? This is gonna help me with that. And if the answer is no, or if the answer is anything but 100% yes, then don't worry about it. It's just gonna waste your time. Just do whatever you prefer and move on. No one's gonna know that you were contemplating if it should be 10% brighter or just how it is. Since I know that I like that, I still wanted to work with the text itself, so I took that off, brought it over to the left, because in world that speak English, we pretty much read left to right, so a lot of my preference for typography is not directly in the center of an image, but it's actually to the left. It's just the easiest to read that way. Especially like when you have text that you want people to read, but then you have like this big dramatic image that is just like sick. And I'm trying not to say it's sick because I'm biased for my own work. I'm just saying like it's a sick photo. Like those lights weren't even there. Again, if you want to see me actually edit this photo and take it from this to this, let me know in the comments down below. So I wanted to give credit to Keith, because Keith was pretty much the model for this. I put his name there, I put my name there to give myself credit, and then I put the company's name there so people know that it's called Raw Nutrition, not just Raw. So since Raw is in this very bold font, I typically like to type in Poppins. It's one of my favorite typefaces. I'm a simple man. I love Futura. I love Poppins. They're just very geometric typefaces. They're very easy to read. They're very applicable to a lot of different projects. So since Raw was in a very bold typeface, I don't know what kind of typeface they base this off of. I wanted to contrast that and make the lesser important information a lighter weight. An easy way to do that is skip 1 to 2 different fonts of a typeface. Typically that's going to be a light or a thin version of that typeface. So I chose the light version of Poppins. And funny enough, if you go on my website, which is theycallmetanner.com, you'll see that the headers are in Poppins and the body text is light Poppins. All right, so once I got done typing out the text, just to give credits to everything involved in this photo, I wanted to mess with the lighting. A little final effect here. I wanted just to create like a purple hue being illuminated in the room. So all I did for that, I created a color balance layer and I made it purple. So I just drug the middle slider to the magenta a little bit, just a little bit. You can see I only did like -6, but still like that was a big change. And then I drug the cyan and yellow sliders over to red and blue just to enhance that purple a little bit more. And then all I did for this, I just erased all of that color balance off of him because I didn't want him to look like he has purple skin. That would look ridiculous. He looks great just as he is. I was very careful. My eraser, see, this is an example of me using the eraser tool. It's not a bad tool to use. Graphic designers can use this and feel no shame. I just lowered the hardness all the way down to 0, so it was a very soft eraser. That way it still left some kind of like a glow or a luminance on the edge of his body to actually make it look like there's purple lights above him and all around him, and they're kind of just giving him a little bit of purple right here. And this looked good. Like this looks really good. It reads really easily. It looks professionally done. It looks like I used very expensive lighting for this photo shoot, which really I didn't. I just used software and a really nice camera. Again, this is my style showing, but if this was like an actual client project, I would just see what they would prefer and see if we can find a middle ground, or if I should just go with what they want to do, or if it's fine to just go with what I want to do. But for this, I just moved the less important information. I moved that over to the right and just tilted it 90 degrees. That way it's still there, it's still legible. It's just kind of out of the way and it's not really taking up that much more real estate. So after that, I took the raw logo itself, just moved it down to the left-hand corner and made it just a little bit smaller, kept the scale right. And then I grabbed the eraser tool. One final act of the eraser tool on this image. I just took away the purple hue that was all over the ceiling and only left it around the lights to make it look like the lights were actually glowing, just giving off a purple glow. And after all that editing, the final photo looks like this. And there you have it. That's how you take a normal photo and make it look like an Instagram banger. Yeah, this would go on Instagram, this would go on Facebook, wherever they post their social media photos at. All right, well, that's the video. If you want to see something like this again in the future, please click that like button. And in the comments below, let me know what you would like to see specifically, and then it might just be a video. Don't forget to follow me on social media. You can find me on Instagram at TheyCallMeTanner. You can also find me on TikTok at TheyCallMeTanner as well. And if you want to see my other work, you can go to my website, theycallmetanner.com. You can subscribe to see more videos like this coming up in the future. All right, thank you so much for watching. Bye.